let's freaking go. We got a fun live stream lined up for you. Yes, you tonight. Obviously, we are about a week away, 8 days away from the late signing period, the less important signing period. And obviously, I'm really excited about some of the prospects. What's going to happen with Harold Perkins? What's going to happen with Trevonte Citizen? What's going to happen with all these different guys? What about JARRICK Benard Converse, who is, to me, LSU's number one transfer portal target? So obviously a lot to get to, not a whole lot of time. Your Venmos, your Cash Apps, your Super Chats go a long way in supporting the channel. And obviously this is the first night on the actual channel that I get to actually wear my own shirt. So we want you to join the T-shirt club. All it is $40. You get a sticker. And of course you get an LSU cards to go along with it. I know some of you have already gotten your shirts, so I'm really excited about that. LJ, loving the photo here. Carter calmly exchanges a truly. He has been drinking for a beer for the camera. I love me truly. You know what's funny? I never really got in on the seltzers. But, this is the big question. Is it my birthday? No, actually, my birthday was Sunday. But I didn't want to celebrate on our Saturday live stream because it wasn't my birthday yet. So I decided to do it on our normal Tuesday live stream. So, it's really cool, right? I'm very blessed to be in this position. And I'm very blessed to get to do this. This is we're about 2 years into this, and we are at 6,000 subscribers. I'm able to do this for a full-time job. Me and Haley are loving each and every one of you. So it's obviously a lot of fun. I think I see Danny in here. What's up? Doc Knock. Oh yeah, another photo. Good to see you. Mark, there you go. You want to get yourself one, right? That's obviously something that helps out. David Sports Report actually did a YouTube video on his actual channel dedicated to me. And I really do appreciate that, David. I really do. Happy late birthday, brother. Keep up the great work. I appreciate you, Mike. I've always tried to figure out where you are here. It looks like you're at a brewery. It looks like it's one of those huge tins in the background. So this is really cool. So Brett has his goodies, and Brett, I'm going to need you to send me a photo with you with your shirt on, right? With the PHL shirt on. And I appreciate your support, Brett. Goes a long way. So as always, we get to your super chat first. Venmo, Cash App, super chat, that supports the channel. And obviously the big story today, a lot of you bleed over as Saints fans along with LSU fans, is Sean Payton retiring, right? You know what's really weird about that is 16 years is a really long time to be a coach. It's a really long time to be a coach at this level, right? So it's also strange that we don't know what the new look Saints are going to look like without Sean Payton, right? It doesn't, the future doesn't look the absolute brightest, but we shall see what happens. Obviously, best of luck to Sean Payton in his future. I know he's really excited about his Netflix movie that comes out in a few days, which is obviously kind of strange. There you go, the caucus. Happy birthday, fun. Grateful for the time and energy put into the channel. No, I appreciate you because you actually rep the channel in your avatar. You have the booger bands. You got the cards right there. I want to get into this, right? So I'm always a believer that you really see a coach. You really got to look deep to see which coaches actually do make a difference, right? So I've made it no mystery on Twitter that I'm not a big Sean McDermott fan. And I feel like the biggest gap in that game between the Chiefs and the Bills this past weekend was the coach, right? I thought Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy viciously outcoached them. I also think that you see that in basketball. You're seeing this with Will Wade, right? His two best players are hurt. They lose a few games, and there's a lot of people kind of sort of freaking out about LSU basketball right now when you shouldn't be. You know what? I'm going to be interested to see what Brian Kelly does next year, right? You get this big contract, and the roster is not, even with the transfers that are coming in, not all those transfers are going to be real difference makers. We're not going to have the most loaded roster next year. And I think what LSU is going to see is you're going to get a coach next year that's actually a plus head coach when he's between the headset, whereas Les Miles and Ed Orgeron was never that. Now, I will say this, Orgeron in 2017 and 2018, I think, especially 2018, I think he actually maxed out that roster. I thought that was actually a really good record for that roster with how the team was structured at the time. And obviously 2019, you couldn't have done anything else. But after that, he really began to suffer between the headsets. So I think something we're going to see next year is maybe LSU, if Brian Kelly continues his coaching prowess, maybe next year we get the benefit of maybe we don't have as much talent as we used to have, or maybe we do, but it's still very young. But we have a coach who can make that talent play up to its capabilities, and you're able to win a game that you're not supposed to, right? The good old Bill Snyder method of winning games. So obviously, I'm really freaking excited about Brian Kelly next year between the headset. Let's see. Jared, happy birthday. Leonard, happy birthday. 10-2 year one. Let's see what happens. Oh, this is interesting, Reed. Wheaton has already hit the portal? Is this confirmed? Let me know. I've not seen anything about this. Simper! You have been hiding from me. I think it has a lot, Simper, to do with the fact that you didn't like Jeremy Hill showing you up with that Cincinnati bet. And since then, you've been gone. So you're like, well, Carter and Jay Hill are tight. I don't like Jay Hill anymore. So I'm kidding, Simper. I know you and Jay Hill are cool too. But I was like, God, I was thinking the other day, I was like, where did Simper go? Shamichael, where have you been? I love it. I love it. Let's go. Jesse says, what are you hearing on Harold Perkins? I don't know. It's honestly up in the air, right? Let's be honest about it, though. There is a difference, right, between what Harold Perkins has done up to this point compared to where we are now, right? You do the Under Armour All-American interview with that Rivals reporter and say, well, I couldn't get with LSU because school pictures, right? No big deal. It's whatever. But now, there's so much that has changed, right? Why do you decommit now from Texas A&M? Is he trying to get more money? Is he really considering Jackson State? We've had a lot of Jackson State viewers jump on my Harold Perkins video from yesterday, say, hey, watch out for Dion. So we'll see. Getting ready for a fight? I like it, man. So are you going to be the one fighting Cyril Gane after Francis Ngannou got after him? He hadn't hit the portal. I did not know this. This is good news, right? Wheaton's a beast. But, they got Jahmyr Gibbs, so it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to say. So we'll see. My buddy Blake reports Jimbo is in town to visit Mathews. Cool stuff. Once again, Jimbo's been making the rounds. It's interesting, right? So, someone that I know pretty well has a son that's being really recruited by the in the class of 2023. And it's interesting, if you are a top 50 player and they really view you as a difference maker, the coaches will make time for you. So it's no real shock that Jimbo was in town to visit Jacoby, even though, in town is technically Ponchatoula, but still. Let's see. Jesse says, I think we're really going to get Mathews. Hope you're right, man. I really do. Something else I wanted to get to today, obviously, with the NFL being what it is now, I do think it is important to note what Joe Burrow's done this year is nothing short of incredible. But at the same time, I know that there's a lot of people out there that are saying, well, the Bengals are happy to be where they are now, and this isn't really their year, and if they lose, no big deal. I actually disagree with that, right? A lot of you saw Josh Allen this weekend. Justin Herbert is just as talented as Joe Burrow. There's a lot of people that would take Herbert over Burrow. I'm not one of them. I think this is the Bengals' year. It very well could be, right? Both the teams in the NFC are very beatable. Obviously, you would prefer to play the 49ers, who the Bengals almost beat in overtime. I still think, if there was a year, Joe and Jamar still on their rookie deals, this could be the Bengals' year, right? This could actually be it. That's been sitting with me all day. You are not guaranteed any of this. And especially with the AFC quarterback picture being the way that it is now. I don't like the Bengals coaching staff. I'm not on fire about Zach Taylor. I think this is their year. I really do. And obviously, I've kind of become a Bengals fan. We got the Bengals jersey always in the background, repping Jay Hill. Guys, this could be it, right? You still got Herbert. Lamar Jackson's coming back next year. I mean, I still take Joe Burrow over all those guys. So it's very fascinating. Let's see here. Saban with the 10-minute flight. 6.5 points. I'm surprised that point spread isn't a little bigger. Yes. That's been sitting with me all day. I'm just like, maybe this is Joe's year. Maybe this is their best year to actually get it done, even though their offensive line is pure trash. Let's go. Johnny 5, member of the T-shirt club. What's up, Nick? Good to see you. Anybody that gets the Bengals to the second round of the playoffs is Superman. That's true. It's not a really good roster. Obviously, a receiver, they're great. Running back, they're great. Offensive line, they're not. Defensive line, they're pretty good. Back 7, they're actually pretty good as well. So, I wouldn't. I know a lot of you aren't Eli Apple fans right now, but we shall see. I think it is in the best interest of Kansas City to find a way to get Tyrann Mathieu healthy. I'm not just saying that because of my Tyrann Mathieu card collection, which is growing by the day. It's also because their secondary looked like utter garbage when he got hurt. So we'll see. The caucus, Gabriel Davis ate them alive. So either Higgins or Chase is going to get bad. Amacat going with the 2 underdogs. I like it, man. So let me see. I want to make sure I welcome everybody into the live stream here. Ghastly Gamer, I see you. Alan, Aaron, Doc Knock, Joshua. Carpet Shelf. Okay, so Carpet Shelf, I remember you very vividly. I know you're really sad when I'm going to bring this up, but this is the truth, okay? This is a whole truth and nothing but the truth. You are a big Dwight McGlothern fan, and I know you are crushed. Fantastic. Where have you been, man? I love you, my brother. Danny girl, what's up? Good to see you. Show up drunk on watermelon, truly. Michael Ray, Cliff. Good to see everybody in here. Ooh, Nathan, finally ordered myself a Joe Burrow Bengals shirt. Well, while you're at it, Nathan, Go on ahead and get you your PHL shirt, baby. Man, you would be so fresh, man. Here's what I'll do, Nathan. If you order a PHL shirt right now, I'll send you a Joe Burrow card. I'll not only send you a Joe Burrow card, I'll send you a Jamar Chase card. Actually, it's just, if Nathan or any of you, you get a Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'll even throw Terrace Marshall in there and a Thad Moss. So I'll just throw all the skill position players on the 2019 team. I'll put all the cards in there. Right? If you get a PHL shirt tonight for a 40 spot. I know, Johnny, it didn't make a whole lot of sense, right? It didn't make a whole lot of sense. That's all you got to do, man. Just Venmo me. You got my Twitter. Just shoot me a DM. I'm going to hook you up with that. There you go. Oh, my buddy's FaceTiming me. What's up, man? Look at that. Huh? Look at that. It was one of my buddies wishing me happy birthday. Let me see. Eli Maddie's got his mama burn his grits. Let me find out when you're going to give those bubblegum cards. J State. Williams got sources. Happy birthday, Zima Warrior. No, so one of my buddies is like courtside at an NBA game, and I thought he had like an NBA player on FaceTime. I do, Cliff. I do. I actually have something else for you. I'm going to send you. Skipper, here's the thing. He said, dang, I should have waited to get my shirt. Crap, you actually said the D word. I think you could say that and not get demonetized. Skipper, I think I put an autograph card. No, you got a Michael Clayton autograph card, right? So I'll say this, an autograph card is definitely worth more, especially if it's Michael Clayton, right? To me, it's worth more. Now, the Joe Burrow and all those cards, they're good. Let's see. Johnny, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate you. I think you got your shirt today. Well, I appreciate you, Johnny. I can't wait to actually meet you. Which new player? Welcome to the channel, LSU fan 05. Eric, you've been one of my day ones. Eric was with me pre-1,000 subs. A lot of my pre-1,000 subs people, they're like, forget him. He doesn't need us anymore. But Eric, serving our country at Robins Air Force Base, Georgia. See, I remember all this, Eric. Good to have you back, man. Which LSU player will have the biggest, which new LSU player will have the best new year? Hopefully Miles Brennan, even though he's kind of not newish. Happy birthday, Carter. Put this to some more girly lime beer and some fresh Crocs. May Haley spoil you and not make you take Z out to the potty today. Z goes potty whenever she wants to. Right? Z runs the household. But Danny, I really appreciate you. I can't wait to meet you too, Danny. You and I have become really good friends on this channel. You have become the heartthrob of many PHLers. And I got to shout out my guy, Rob, who is not only a T-shirt club member, he has an autograph card of Craig Steltz. He's also got an autograph card of Matt Flynn. That's why you got to jump on this, right? I always have something new and special. And every time you order bands, stickers, and all that stuff, you do get to tell me who your favorite player is. And I always make sure I send a card of your favorite player. So if your favorite player is Chad Jones, I'll send you a Chad Jones card and a bunch of other cards as well. I did have to send off my Kevin Minter autograph. It went to someone really special. So I decided to do that. A Josh Reed fan. I love it. Obviously, Whamacat, I'd hook you up with cards of all those four players. I know you're a big defensive back fan. That's all you got to do, Whamacat. You just got to get a shirt. That's it. Let's see here. But yeah, this is something else that kind of excites me about Brian Kelly as we move towards the future, right? Is you look at Cortez Hankton, right? They're already doing recruiting visits together. It's obviously, not so much big for recruiting the kid. They went to go recruit a 3-star receiver in Caleb Douglas. Uh, Once again, it's not a must get. LSU's really loaded at wide receiver. Um, so there you go. Nathan, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. And you're going to get all those cards, man. Congratulations. Uh, this is what's really fascinating, though, about that entire ordeal. I do think it's more important for the recruiting visit that Brian Kelly and Cortez Hankton, they have to travel somewhere together. Okay. And this is one of those behind the scenes things that we normally don't think about as fans. These coaches, they don't spend as much time together as you would probably think they do. Now, during the season, they do because they're game planning, and then they have a 1-hour recruiting call. That's what Ed Orgeron did, but I think that's huge because obviously Brian Kelly and Cortez Hankton, I doubt they have spent a whole lot of time together over the past 5 or so years. So this is huge for their relationship, right? It's more than just money. Yes, it was easy for Cortez Hankton to come back home and be a position coach for $900K a year. But it is important to make sure that your coaching staff has symbiosis, that you get along well. And Brian Kelly, when he was at Notre Dame, he gave a lot of autonomy to his coaches. So it's a very interesting thing. Cliff's a proud pre-1000 member. There you go. There we go. My guy, Urban Sombrero, really appreciate you. So obviously, here's what we're going to do right now. I want you to comment down below. All right. Which one of these 3 players is the most important player? Now, I'm not going to say the best player because most of you are going to say Harold Perkins, not the best player, but who is the most important player for LSU to land out of these 3? Type H for Harold Perkins, type T for Trevonte Citizen, type J for Jacoby Mathews. Out of those 3, let me know which one you think is the most important player to land. Kedrick, thank you for another super chat. I really appreciate that. Lots of Jacoby Mathews here. Dang. Every single one of you say Jacoby, including the Master Blaster. Let's see. Let's see. Cassie from Tennessee is back. I love that. That's such a good Tennessee thing. Happy birthday, hun. I love it. Welcome back, Cassie. I'm glad you're slowly turning into an LSU fan. Nick says J. Eric says J. Doc is one of the few people that said H. So let's go to Kendrick's super chat here. What do you want to see happen next season under Brian Kelly or Brain Kelly? I like that. Welcome in Ricky, Russell, Brandon, J-Dog. What's up, J-Dog? Brett, good to see you. Jason, another Brett. Ez, love it. So this is obviously really key as well, everyone. I don't say this enough, but I want you to think right now of the most diehard LSU football fan in your mind, just in your mind right now. Okay. And they got to be the most diehard LSU football fan. You may not have talked to this person in a while. Okay. Think of that person and send them one of my videos. Right. Now, a live stream may not be the absolute best. Invite them to a live stream, but send them one of my well-edited 12-minute videos, right? And let's get them hooked on PHL. That's obviously it. It's a people thing. There's no, obviously the money's great. It comes down mostly though to you guys. That's the only way I could survive. So I really do appreciate that. I want you right now to think, right? Because all 94 of you are in the dead of off season and you're watching this right now. So think of that one diehard LSU football fan, right? And send it to them. What do I want to see happen next season under Brian Kelly? The first thing, Kedrick, is obviously I want 7 wins. I don't think 7 is too much to ask for. So to give you a hard number, I think 7 is, obviously not a bare minimum because, you're only year 1 into it. But I want to see 7 wins just to give you an objective number. There are favorable games on the schedule. Obviously, something that is very underrated, and I mean very underrated, that we don't talk enough about, right, is how important that first game is, right? You saw how dead we were after the Mississippi State game. You saw it. You saw how dead we were after the UCLA game. And I think the UCLA game was more damaging, obviously, than the Mississippi State game, because we had mostly everyone healthy. Derek Stingley was there. That was obviously more damaging. So, Kedrick, those are the 2 things I want to see. Win the first game, 7 wins. Now, a few other things, obviously, is we need to do better recruiting our skill guys in the state. You don't want to see all of them go to Bama again. That obviously sucks. Right. And we'll see what happens to the 2 big skill guys on February 2nd that are top 10 players in the state, Citizen and Mathews. Now, something else that's very interesting. I talked to a lot of these dynasty football guys. Joshua, thank you for your super chat. I really appreciate you. I talked to a lot of these dynasty football guys, and a lot of them are really high on Trevonte Citizen. Like, just as an athlete, as a potential future, not only football star at the college level, but at the NFL level as well. So it's a very, it's a very fascinating thing, right? Thank you, Tyler, for the happy birthday wishes. Carvis, thank you again for the happy birthday. Once again, my birthday was Sunday. I saved it for the Tuesday night live stream. Didn't want a Sunday live stream. I wanted everyone to enjoy those 2 legendary matchups. I'm glad I didn't do a live stream. I would have gone crazy. But still, this is wonderful. And a lot of my diehards are in here. This is also very key. And this is why I love Brett. Brett is, I got to talk to Brett privately. He was our first ever t-shirt buyer on the live stream. Okay. And, Brett and I talked for a little bit, and he really does think outside the box. So I appreciate you, Brett. This is very key as well, right? And Kedrick, I hope you're still with us. To take it one step further, once again, those were objective benchmarks. Beat Florida State, get to 7 wins, right? I think the next thing that takes a little bit more effort as an LSU fan, but I guarantee you it'll make you a little bit more fulfilled. So not every last thing comes down to wins and losses. The next thing you want to look for is, does our team get better as the game moves along, right? First quarter, second quarter. And as many of you know, and I always go back to this, the hardest I've ever worked on a video was a 30+ minute video on win probability, right? And it was a very nerdy kind of thing. Didn't get a lot of views. It's not even at 1,000 views. But, in the video, I harshly criticized Ed Orgeron's coaching because as the game moves along, he's not that great. And in the third quarter, our teams just continuously tanked. And that's key. So, Brett, I'm really glad that you put this out. Are we going to fight like 4 quarters like Tigers do? I know that sounds very rah-rah, whatever, but it's true. do we have a third quarter and fourth quarter fight? And that is something we just didn't have these past couple of seasons. It's because our game plan got stale, and we played man coverage on every snap. Since LSU is so thin at cornerback, can Sadron fill in, or is he more suited for one of the safety positions? I think at this point, Cliff, you do seriously consider looking at Sage Ryan as a traditional safety, right? Pig Cage showed you a lot at the nickel. I also think Brooks coming in from Arkansas is more of a nickel. And I think you could see a safety duo next year of Sage Ryan and Joe Big Play Fuchsia. So this is a really good question, right? So let me change. I'm going to change the poll question for you in just a second. Prez. Ed, as always, thank you for your super chat. I also appreciate your friendship. And this is obviously one of my closest buds on PHL, the Master Blaster. Hey, Carter, sorry I haven't been on that much. I've been busy with the wife back home. I think you forgot about me on the J Hill card. No, I didn't, Tony. I was waiting to get your shirt size to send it with it. I still got it sitting right here, man. You just been I know you wanted to get a shirt as well. So I'll send you an email because I've been waiting to send it all in one. I actually had it packaged up and shipped, and I was like, wait, I'll wait for the shirts. So I didn't forget about you at all. I actually have it sitting here because it also was one of my favorite J-Ho cards. But once again, I told one of my resolutions was to, give more of my LSU collection away to you guys. And obviously I get a lot of feedback on the cards. Who do you cheer for with the two teams that are LSU heavy? Happy birthday. You know what's funny? I actually am cheering for Joe, even though I want Tyron to win because Tyron is towards the end of his career. And I'm a big Tyron Mathews fan and collector. So, Super Bowls do a lot for your PC, your football card collection. So there's a piece of me that says, I kind of want Tyron to win another one. And also, Tyron, when he retires, he's going to be a fringe Hall of Famer. He's got maybe 2 years left, if that. So he's a fringe Hall of Famer. He's not going to be a first ballot guy. An extra Super Bowl makes me feel a lot more comfortable about Tyron getting into the Hall of Fame. But in all actuality, I think every single one of us are rooting for the Bengals simply because, even though Clyde didn't get him one, Daryl's got him one. So, I think most of you are cheering for the Bengals. Now, as far as the other game, obviously, Brockers isn't on the Rams anymore, but Odell is on the Rams. Whitworth is on the Rams. And for the 49ers, only Arden Key is on that team. So, I think at this point, Tony, I think all of us are rooting for the Bengals. And let's be honest, most of us are Joe first kind of guys, right? We want Joe to win it because he's brought so much joy and happiness. And the second most important player on that team arguably was Jamar. So, for both of them to get a Super Bowl ring would, make the most of us happy. Jacoby, I saw this, posted a picture of him and HP on his Insta story, and the capture read something brewing in Baton Rouge. Yeah, I think someone sent me this on Twitter before we actually started. Let me take a look. Let me see. Todd Harris says 1 more year. It'd be very nice to get him back, even though when he played, he wasn't good this year. At this point, numbers matter, right? We need as many people as we possibly can back, especially at safety. Tyler, I have a football card collecting channel. I'll pull up the link in just a second. Stay with us, Tyler. I'll answer that question a little bit later. I get a lot of questions about the football card collecting stuff because, Joe is so big now. But yeah, I do want Todd Harris to come back. I do want as many guys to come back. I would love Sony Fanua to come back, even though both of them are very limited in what they could potentially do for your team next year. I do think it is nice to get as many of those guys possibly back as we possibly can. So let's see here. So let me switch this question up for Cliff. I like this question. So a lot of you think the Bengals are going to beat the Chiefs. I think a lot of you are objectively looking at this as well. Man, it's so hard to beat Mahomes in Arrowhead. It really is. That guy is something else. You know what Patrick Mahomes said in an interview? He said, you know, as great as these Super Bowls are, he loses sleep every night when we beat him in the Texas Bowl. He said he can't go to sleep at night. He said, I kind of want to retire because I'm so sad that Les Miles beat down Texas Tech. Dev's with me on this. Sage and Joe as safeties. I like it. Yeah, true, Jason. But at the same time, you know, this is undoubtedly true, and it's a really good point by you. At the same time, though, I still think it is better we get as many guys back as we possibly can, right? Especially at safety. Maybe Todd Harris comes back fully healthy, and he is John Battle in a perfect world. But we'll see. I don't think this is true, Doc. I don't, because Sage, when he actually played, was really good in the Florida game. But then again, you know, it's hard to judge. And I know I've been critical of Jay Ward's tackling, but it's hard to judge any defensive back that had to play man coverage on every snap with no disguising, right? Any quarterback is going to look like Johnny Manziel when they get that opportunity. All right. If I'm getting your poll question up. That's for you, Cliff. And Todd Harris does not have many fans on here. Tracy, where can you watch the win probability video? It is, the thumbnail is third quarter. I know that's all it says, is third quarter. It was before the season began, right? We don't need any more safeties. We need more corners. JARRICK BENARD CONVERSE, come on down. I think he starts day one. And I do think that obviously entices a Louisianian to say, look, I can go day one and be a DBU. That would be wonderful. Smash the like button. Mick, it's good to hear from you again. I hope you are fully healthy. So there you go. Tony says we do need corners. So once again, vote in the poll question, Cliff, and everyone vote in the poll question. I'm glad the weather was cold in Gainesville. Oh, Eric, you are in Gainesville. You've been going through a move. I forgot you moved to Gainesville. Chris, welcome to the channel. There we go. Real talk, Todd is my cousin. We're both from the same town. I honestly believe he has lost his confidence. It's just my take. I agree with this, right? When he was healthy, he was fine. Okay. So the first thing is that he came in that class, if I'm not mistaken, with Jacoby and Delpit in the class, right? So, you know, he waited his turn, 2019. We need him to play, and then he gets hurt, right? I don't think he's ever been the same player after the injury. But at the same time, his tackling has been inconsistent. The Texas Bowl was really rough. We really needed a big performance from him in that game. And, once again, I'll always defend every defensive back that had to play in the system that we played in the past couple of seasons. Um, and we've seen, not a single safety play well in the system. We are 0 for 20 out of all the safeties that played. They looked awful, right? So your coverage schemes, when you run man coverage every snap, it's going to make a lot of safeties look really bad, right? But, we need to look elsewhere for starting safeties. I don't mind Todd as a backup and a special teamer, but we do need to find some guys that like to tackle in space and that can just run and cover. I don't think Jay Ward's the answer there. I think Jay Ward moves back to traditional corner, which is why Sage Ryan moving to safety becomes a more enticing idea. Obviously, I think you look at Joe Big Play Fuchsia as a guy that starts at one of the safety spots. And then the other safety spot, what about Derek Davis? What about Matthew Langlois? What about any of these guys? What about Jacoby Mathews? So let's see it. Harris! I'm saying hi to you now. Chris 606 with Chris 605 in the photo. Oh, Reed found you a center. We need to send it to Brad from Michigan State. Oh, Brad Davis, I think, watches the channel. I think he's watching it now. I'm kidding. Someone tell Brad Davis to get in contact with Danny and allow her to help you look for a center. Like her niche is to find a center. That's it, Brad. Hit up Danny. I could connect you to. She will sit there. Danny was so sick and tired of our inconsistent center plays. Danny will be the person that presses refresh on the center button on the transfer portal tab, and she'll be the first one to call it. Hire Danny for a recruiting staffer. She could do it from her post in Georgia. She could just press refresh. Center. Oh, man. Ricky, welcome to the channel. Todd Harris gets burned and missed tackles 80% to 90% of the time. Dang, Ricky had a percentage. Jared, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Derek Davis is a great athlete. Any other position he can help play help with the team. It's interesting, Cliff, because obviously, as many of you know, he got a lot of snaps at running back during the offseason, during the spring. So, maybe. I don't know. He is very athletic. Obviously, coming out of Pennsylvania, we had a lot of people in the Pennsylvania area when he committed to LSU say you're getting a good one. So maybe he's a year two guy. He didn't obviously play a lot. I thought he was going to play a bunch. I thought he was really good. So there you go. And boom, Tony, there you go. I appreciate you, Master Blaster. Obviously, I'm going to get really excited when I get to meet a lot of you. But you got to admit, it's going to be emotional when me and the Master Blaster actually get to meet. I haven't actually met Jared yet, but I'm kind of mad at Jared because he didn't come to our PHL meetup because he was tailgating in Jerusalem. We did it. We did our PHL meetup for a game in a central location, and Jared decided to tailgate past the vet school. Jared was tailgating in Plaquemine, basically. So thank you, Tony, for your very generous super chat. Our top super chatter of the night. Round of applause for Tony. I love it. Oh, Chris says, I think Emory's going to bust out next year. I have a crush on Liam. Yeah. The Harvard education, man. I need those brains in my life. No, I appreciated Liam playing hard, never missing a snap basically for 2 years. His back getting folded in half versus Alabama, and he only missed a play. I give a lot of credit to Liam. There you go. Look at DRC showing some love to the Master Blaster. I love it. Some of y'all need some nicknames, right? Any girl kind of just made her own nickname. Unless, Danny, you grew up people calling you Danny Girl. I did baby Liam a lot. Well, here's the thing, right? I'm never going to just totally ether a player, right? Like I'll call out when you're not playing well. And you can go look at all the film studies that we've done, especially the Auburn and the Florida game, where, I called out Liam when he was getting drilled 5 yards in the backfield every single time. So I'm not going to be just totally brutal on a player that goes out there and gives it his all. I will call a spade, though, when they're playing bad. But, Danny, I don't want to go too overboard with criticizing a player. But I do agree, and this is one thing we cannot disagree with involving the center position, right? It is without question that a big failure, and this is partially on Brad Davis, even though he came into the situation very late. This was a major failure by Ed Orgeron to not have a backup center that you could go to, right? You needed to have just somebody, right? And, well, we didn't, right? And this is how I felt too, DRC. So, I like the fact that Liam played his tail off, and he did take the most vicious pile hit I've ever seen an LSU player take in the Bama game. It was so bad. I have no idea how he even was able to walk the rest of the game. That's one of those cart games or cart plays because Chasen Hines got beat, and because he got beat, he folded on top of Liam's back, as did the defensive lineman. I gave Liam a lot of credit for playing through that. There should have been a backup center. We should have tried Liam somewhere else. I don't know what Ed Orgeron was thinking. I really don't. And I don't know what James Craig or Brad Davis was thinking, right? And I think Brad did a really good job with this group this year, and I'm not just saying that. We shall see. Ricky says if Perkins comes to LSU, I think he contributes more as a freshman, more at running back than linebacker. I don't see that happening. I could see that down the road. But, Ricky, it is a good question because, when you watch his tape, his running back highlights are just as good, if not better, than his linebacker highlights. Also, something else with Harold is that, you have to figure out what exactly is his best position. Is he a chase on edge rusher? Is he more of a traditional weak side linebacker like a Deion Jones? You got to kind of figure out what the best way is to use him because, it's not clear where his best position actually is at the next level. Running back room is loaded, and that's also something else. Let's see. Let me check on Cliff's poll question. Once again, Tony, you get to pick the next topic. Thanks again for your generous super chat. What is Sage Ryan's best position? Nickel, safety. Nickel is slightly beating out safety, and 8% of you think it's corner. Very interesting. Pegasus says Is the running back room loaded? I don't know if loaded is the right word, right? Like I don't know if load is the right word. I think deep is the right word. Loaded means loaded means you've got like proven guys. So yeah, happy birthday, Zima Warrior. I need to know where will we go into the Superdome game so I can be there to drink with some real LSU fans. There you go, Nick. It's a good question. Once again, thank you for the super chat, Nick. I appreciate you big time, man. Yeah, I don't know where the PHL meetup is going to be. I kind of wanted to do one this summer, but Haley and I are going to we're traveling this summer, and we'll see. I kind of wanted to do a summer meetup because not only you could travel during the fall, right? A lot of your vacation is used in the summer. So I thought about doing like just a random meetup in like Lafayette during the summer or something like that, or Dallas or Baton Rouge or wherever, and then doing a New Orleans one. I really want to do a New Orleans one for next year. So yeah, I don't think Logan Diggs is coming. Memphis, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Jason sent me an email. Let me see. Jason normally has some goodies in the email. Oh, I see. You counted the numbers for me. I appreciate you, man. 49 scholarship guys, and you got to add on the new guys coming in. And it does help out. Out of all years to have the extra 7 players on the roster, this is the best one. So there you go. Nick, thank you for your generous donation. Big Easy 504, you've been with me for a good little bit now. Thank you so much. Keep doing what you're doing, my friend. Thank you. And Big Easy, Nick, and the Master Blaster, you get to pick the new topic. Jared, I wish this was the case. Obviously, you know, there are some new tax laws that do affect me. Well, I discussed, someone actually super chatted a question about this a few live streams ago. There are some new tax laws that are going to affect me. It's going to affect Blake. It's going to affect a lot of the independent guys that you watch now, right? Obviously, Blake is the only one that comes to my mind right now. But you know, think of any like college football YouTuber that isn't attached to like a big name or organization. There are some new, I don't want to get into the minutia. So, you know, maybe this is true, Jared. I wouldn't mind it. Me and Jeff Bezos will be on the same tax bracket. I'm excited about that, right? Big Easy wants to talk about recruiting. Okay. Nick, let me know what you want to talk about. You super chatted first, but I'll go to Big Easy's question here. So there is 2 layers to this recruiting thing, right? So we did a recruiting video, the 5 guys you really got to look out for, right? Shay did a good job in his write-up. I read it this morning. There's apparently this Texas track star that they're trying to get right now as well. But the 5 names you really got to keep an eye out for: Harold Perkins, Jacoby Mathews. Those are the 2 top 50 players that LSU is going after on the defensive side of the ball. All right. The other 3 are all offensive guys. Caleb Douglas, who LSU went in home with today. Brian Kelly did, along with Cortez Hankton, along with 2 other names, Danny Lewis and Trevonte Citizen. You know, it would seem as if the Danny Lewis, to people like us, would be a slam dunk to LSU. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case. And Trevonte Citizen, I feel pretty good about LSU because Frank Wilson, that's been his primary recruiting target. And I think Big Easy, if I were to rank the players I think LSU has the best shot with, I would say Citizen number 1 because Frank's been all over it. Then I would say Mathews 2. Then I would say Perkins 3, not Perkins. I would say Lewis 3rd, Douglas fourth, and then Perkins 5. Now, that is the likelihood that each player chooses LSU. We'll see. If LSU lands 2 of those guys, it's pretty good. Obviously, if you only land 1, that's not ideal. But there is a non-zero chance that LSU goes 5 for 5 with those guys. So we shall see. Thank you so much. Hey, everyone. Ryan joined the Booger Band Club this weekend. Congratulations, Ryan. Kiner, Goodwin Bradford Citizen. Yeah, loaded. I'm in the Kiner Fan Club president now. I love it, man. I think with Corey Kiner, obviously, just pure speed is never going to be his thing, right? That's just not his MO. But guile, power, and reading the game is going to be things that he'll have to excel at. And you saw in year 1 some really explosive plays that he was able to make. And hopefully that continues. Now, a lot of those plays came in garbage time versus really tired defenses, but we shall see. Okay. Who are the starting linebackers after Baskerville? I think a good question, Cliff, is will Baskerville even start? Right. So you bring in Wes Weeks. Let's do this. Nick says Weeks and Mike Jones are going to be the starter. So, Nick, I'm going to make this your poll question. So, Sage Ryan's best position. Oh, we got a tie right here. 10% say corner, nickel 45%, safety 45%. Let's see if it actually ends in a tie here. It did. Very interesting. What's up, Josh? Good to see you. All right. That poll question is for you, Nick. Biggie, good to see you. Robert, you share the name of the most underrated Minnesota Viking of all time. Yeah, I don't know how bad Coventry's Bradford's injury was, or if you're talking about Anthony Bradford, I don't think he was hurt. I hope this is right. So if you do send me a Cash App, just type the word rent. There you go. Trey Bradford. Yeah, I don't know what the extent of his injury was. Right? This is the kind of scary thing about college is, you know, unless you specifically ask the coach during the press conference, you don't get injury reports, right? So you don't really ever know uh, uh, if a player is missing or not, right? We don't know exactly whatever even happened with Joseph Evans, right? Birchman, I appreciate you. I'm not sure about Caleb Williams. No, I didn't want to make this I didn't want to make this a Caleb Williams chat because we talked so much about him. It just comes down to what he wants to do. I don't even know if LSU offered him. I would guess that they did. Let's go to Danny's question here. Cohesiveness of the new O-line or depth at secondary? I think it's the first one. I do. Yeah, both of them are big concerns, but yeah, Danny, this is kind of rare, but I am not sure. Mm. Okay. So I want everyone right now in the chat, every single one of you, just off the top of your head right now, name the one offensive lineman next year that you think is guaranteed to start. Okay. Right now, just off the top of your head, one guy, just name one. It's tough. It's tough. Name one guy you would say for sure is going to be a starter. One guy right now. Wire. Chris Cross. Welcome. Cardell. Miles Frazier. Oh, some of you want to super chat about the Barry Bonds debate. I like it. We'll get into it as we always do at the end, where we dive off of other LSU stuff. Bradford. You got to wonder if Anthony Bradford's even going to be back. Dang, Ryan said Marlon Martinez. You know you're a big Are You Serious fan if you're a Marlon Martinez. Blake loves him some Marlon Martinez. Frazier. Wire. You notice there's not Frazier. Aaron, I love this photo, man. It's a different photo. We've had Aaron boat up at the beach, and now we have Aaron with his lovely other half. Good to see you. Rob, one of our super chatters. There you go. It says Frazier. Dellinger at guard, not tackle. Shorts. So Ulysses is all in on the transfers. Dellinger, Frazier, Deculus is not coming back next year. And please, this isn't the most flattering dog photo in the world. Is that what that dog is doing? I don't know. Deculus. I don't think Deculus is coming back. Bob says Dellinger. Deculus. Deculus with the mustache. There you go, Aaron. Tell your wife thank you. Love it. Absolutely love it. Cardell Thomas at center. So here, Carvis is giving you a starting five. Frazier, Dellinger, Shorts, the transfer at center. Anthony Bradford, Cam Wire. I like Cam Wire a lot. I like him more at guard than tackle, but I think they're going to need him to play tackle. Ooh, Mick. Mick is getting spicy in here. Mick, this is too spicy right here. Emory Jones might actually be that guy. I'll say this. I think Emory Jones is better than all of them. I do. I think it's going to be so clear that he is the best. I think he'll finish his career as one of the best offensive linemen ever at LSU, and he will end the drought of first round and second round offensive linemen at LSU. I think he's that phenomenal. I think he's real good. Here you go, Ulysses. I love it. Start Emory Jones day one. This is also true. Brian Kelly's really good with offensive lines. I see you. I see you. So this is interesting. All right. So the new recruiting guru, the Jordan Arsenault guy, our Arcement, uh, tweeted this out. Okay, and I want you to see this. It's very interesting. If you're a diehard recruiting fan, you're gonna love this. All right. So he tweets this out, and it's a photo of Devin White and Jamal Adams, right? Now, what's really interesting about this photo here is essentially he is sending out a signal that he wants Jacoby Mathews and Devin White. He wants Jacoby Mathews and Harold Perkins to be the next Jamal Adams and Devin White. And then look, he says, "Hey there, Harold Perkins." Jacoby tweets this out. I love it. So that looks as if it's good news for LSU, right? And if this tweet is what helps land both of them, this Jordan Arcement has already earned his salary. I like Dellinger as a swing guy. I like it. Jamal Adams and Devin White, icons, man. It's very interesting. I still think Jamal Adams in many ways is underrated as far as his LSU legacy is concerned. He started 3 years at LSU and never missed a game at safety. 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 Right? A position where your body crumbles. Oh, this is a very pro Jacoby and Guillory channel. I think Jamar Cain will do him some good. Guillory's technique got a little sloppy at times this year. I think some of it was this game, right? I think Guillory's going to be a better player next year, too. And if he's fully healthy, I think he can be a really good 2-year starter, like a Marlon Favorite type of player. And we desperately need it. Uh-oh. The Nussmeier fan club. Hey, Danny, you are too. You are too. Okay, Nick Super Chats here. How do you feel about the number 7 and the number 18? And who do you think will get them? Okay, so let's talk about this. Let me change with the poll question. Nick, you with your $50 super chat, we're actually going to give you 2 poll questions here. Okay, so I'm actually going to dedicate it to Tony as well, the Master Blaster. So Wes Weeks will start at linebacker next year. So understand, if you say Wes Weeks is going to start at linebacker, that means he is going to unseat either Mike Jones or Micah Baskerville. Very interesting. Let me do this. Okay. right, and let's do this. All right, everyone. Remember, Joes and Weeks are built like safeties who can cover in certain situations. All right, so Greg, good to see you, man. Dundee says Ollie Gay number 18. Good to see you, Greg and Dundee. So answer the poll question here. This is for Nick and the Master Blaster. Ooh, Biggie Bam said, "Don't sleep on Bryce Langston. Hope he sticks around." And I think he could start at a lot of SEC schools. I hope he sticks around. So let's see what the poll question results. No, Brad, happy birthday to you. I appreciate your friendship and support of the channel. Jesse wants to keep both traditions. So Jesse's a big Fournette fan. So obviously he wants to keep the number 7. Why can't Wes Weeks start then? Well, that means you'd have to start him over Baskerville and Jones. The good thing, though, about linebacker is that you play so many, right? So if LSU's got 2 stud linebackers, they don't rotate. So, Queen and Phillips never left the game, hardly. But if they don't have stud linebackers, they'll rotate a little bit more. Actually, disagree with this. What's weird is thinking numbers bring recruits here. When we have so many LSU alums in the NFL, numbers do matter, right? These recruits want to wear single digit numbers, right? Now, I can understand nobody ever wearing number 9 anymore at LSU. I don't know if anybody would want to wear that number after Joe, but single digit numbers do matter, right? Go look at the high school recruits. The best high school recruits wear single digit numbers. Okay. So, when did number 7 change to the offense? It changed pretty quickly. All right. Fournette was after Mathews and Pat Pete. And you want to go all the way back, DJ Chark, but if you want to go back to Burt Jones, you can. Sorry, so late, guys. What's up? Funny how we're depending on Burrow again to beat the Chiefs so he can deliver us our DC. That's why I love you, Black OT, and your lovely wife, D. I didn't think about the Madhouse thing, right? And I didn't think about it at all. It's a very good point, right? So yeah, that is very interesting, right? Never got confirmation with this. Is Matt House still coaching with the Chiefs? I think he is. I keep my mind keeps playing games. My mind keeps playing games. Matt House is still with the Chiefs, correct? He's finishing out his season with the Chiefs. If that is the case, this is a really good point. I think you are right about this. I think he is still with the. I'm trying to remember. I don't. My mind is legit fried. BGS, what's good? Brian, my classmate. I don't think there's any word around Mason Smith. I hope there's not any word around Mason Smith. You never know nowadays, but he's going to be a beast next year for LSU. I don't know if there's any. I'm starting to get a little worried. Right? He can win you a game or two extra than you normally wouldn't win. Uh, so House is still with the Chiefs. You see, that's what I thought. I was like, maybe he did leave. So because he's getting such a upgrade in title. So black goatee, chess, not checkers. I love it. That's a really good point. That is a really, really good point. I freaking love it. Rondell Mealy. See what you're saying, Paris. I don't disagree. I feel it's overrated now being the opt-outs these couple years. Yeah, but only Jamar opting out. I think he's going to play corner next year. I do think they're going to move him. Well, Black OT, shout out to UND. Mm. Matt Mock started 18. That's true. There's Matt Mock, and then really gained traction. Richard Dixon to Hester. All right. Butte number 7, Emory and Ward number 18. I'm fine with Ward. Emory's is. I don't know if I don't know if that's the best 18, considering that's the number that you can always rely on that person being there, right? Plus, here's something else about John Emery, right? And we've talked a lot about John Emery on this channel. We still don't know if he's good. We just don't, right? We know we've seen flashes of brilliance, right? But we still don't know if he can carry the load. And this, honestly, even though, obviously this is very injury related, it's not just the injuries, right? It's more than just the injuries. It's just him being good. And part of being good is pass protection, right? It's an issue. Now, there are some spectacular instances where John Emery succeeds in pass protection. Then there are some instances. So, that's obviously very key. He's never had a crunch time carry. That was huge for us in a close game. That's something else that concerns me as well, right? And Jeremy Hill was on here, obviously a few weeks ago to talk about it. It is so different when the pressure is really on to be a big time runner, to fall forward for that extra yard, to get a big 4th and 1 when the team really needs you. It's different. And, Emery has never had one of those types of plays for us at all, like not a single one. So he's won us some games in blowouts. But yeah, that's going to be the big thing next year. Pass protection, and how does he perform when the pressure's on? We know he's a high upside player. We know he can get it done. We know he's spectacular. But, those are two big things as far as just on the field kind of things. Also, if you're going to wear number 7, you've got to be a dude, right? So I think the only person that should wear number 7 next year is Kayshawn. That's it. You've got to be an NFL future Pro Bowler to wear number 7. That's just how I feel about it. I think it should be an extremely high standard, right? But this is also the other side of it as well. And I do agree with King Ulysses as well. Emery was in every practice. He did get after it. So I do give him a lot of credit for that. Thank you, Max. Max, you and I have grown so much in our PHL friendship. We've grown, but this has always been a thing, right? Number one, Max is always in here in the chat talking about how I have to fight for his girlfriend's attention. And I've always said this: make your significant other happy. Okay. Make them happy. Do whatever you got to do. I am just a blip on the radar. But it is different when you give me a lame excuse, such as watching Ozark with Jason Bateman. Really? You're watching Wannabe Breaking Bad over my channel? Ozark? Ozark? You can watch Ozark anytime. There's plenty of better shows to watch than Ozark. You can watch Breaking Bad with the girlfriend. You can watch Ted Lasso with the girlfriend. I didn't watch Game of Thrones, but if you like watching people, incest and dragons, go for it. But Ozark, over my channel, over my channel, over my channel, over my channel. Stop it. Tyler, stop it. Stop it. Nothing. Breaking Bad is so good. It is on Joe Burrow level greatness. There will never be a show better than that one. Ozark! Really? The show named after a bottle of water. Ozark! Really? You've seen all of them, but the Ozark's a new thing. Big Al! Good to see you. Uh-oh, official Friday. Let's go. I think you are one of the people that only like when I say what I had for dinner. We did have tacos tonight. It was Taco Tuesday. But Max, welcome. I'm kidding. Obviously, enjoy your time with your girlfriend. Was it a Netflix and chill, or was it a Netflix and chill? I'm kidding. I'm sure you enjoyed. You followed every plot line. You went along with everything. Jared, you still haven't lived life if you've not watched a single episode of the greatest television show of all time. Captain Kenneth, sure. Overrated, sure. I've never seen an episode of Ozark. Ted, welcome, Ted. Look at that. Ted, I love this photo, man. Looks like you're getting ready to go fishing. No, Breaking Bad's phenomenal. It's just phenomenal, right? The acting, everything. And I've gone to New Mexico and seen all the sights. Sopranos is the best. I've only watched one season of The Sopranos. It's probably like, I'll say this. The best season I've ever seen of any show was True Detective season 1. I don't think there'll ever be a show that had me more effed up than that one. That show made you feel things, right? It was so strange. It was so well done. But really, Sopranos season 1 was so good. I just never finished the rest of it. At some point, I will when I'm old and can't really do anything. But yeah. But anyway, get back on topic here with Nick. Yeah, Jacoby Mathews. Is Harold Perkins visiting this week? I think so. I hope so. Life ain't nothing but a flat circle. Caleb Williams, let's go. I love it. Gotta love it. Got to end home on Thursday. Let's go, Scrappo. This weekend. Let's go. Seize the day. It really was good. So season 2 sucked. I actually did watch season 3 with Mahershala Ali. And it was season 3 was phenomenal. But I think it just couldn't recover from such a bad season 2. All right. But season 1 was just great. Now, back to LSU. I'm not really a TV show. I don't I mostly focus on sports. Haley and I only watch Ted Lasso. I think we're going to start Succession soon. I know a lot of you are crying over the finale of Insecure. It's a big deal, right? That's a legendary series right there. So I know, all these shows, y'all have your favorites. I don't watch it on TV to really be able to comment on it. But if you like Ozark, live your life. Part of that Netflix and chill comment made me laugh aloud. In the gym, got people looking at me like a psycho. I love it, man. I love it. Life shouldn't be taken too seriously, man. Sons of Anarchy. TKS doesn't ever comment, but he said, well, gosh dang it, you better mention the show with the motorcycles. I love it. I've never seen Sons of Anarchy. I don't think I'd like it too much. Insecure was my show. It's Ray. Legendary series. Never seen an episode of it. Still, I know how much it meant to a lot of people. Creek, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Tony's a Yellowstone fan. I know a lot of you are diehard Yellowstoners. Creek, you get to pick the next LSU topic. Please pick something because we are on TV now. Thanks to Max, Netflix, and chilling. So, 50's best show is BMF, packaged on metal too much sometimes. So there you go. We're back on the Stapleton discussion. Man, the Stapleton debate got pretty hot. I think it was 2 streams ago. A lot of Stapleton diehards in here. Big Al, hang in there, my guy. Tracy's a Yellowstoner too. Tracy and Tommy, Yellowstoners. I like it. Yeah. I don't something else that's kind of weird. Since I got out of traditional radio where I did a 4-hour R&B show and I did a 4-hour country show, I don't listen to much music anymore. I don't. I'm a big EDM fan. I like electronic dance music. At the hockey match I went to a week ago, it was a week ago, they played a lot of EDM and it had me pretty hype. Citizen to UF. See, once again, PLG, dude, people will fight you over Chris Stapleton. Let's go to Antonio here. I was like, hey, Greek Super Chats, pick another LSU topic. And he's like, no, we want to talk about Chris Stapleton. Stapleton's a legend. He's a legend, right? You can hate on him all you want. This is how you know Chris Stapleton is a legend, right? Okay, every country star looks the same, except for two. Okay, every single country star has 6-pack abs, handsome dude that wears tight jeans, right? There's two that don't fit that mold, right? Chris Stapleton, Luke Combs. And that lets you know that those two are talented. Luke Combs, Luke is a mother effing beast, boy. Long neck, eyes cold. I love him, man. Beer never broke my heart. Diamond rings for Luke is Luke is next level, man. Luke is next level. How do you think the QB situation is going to be? It's nuts versus Brent. I hope it gets settled over spring ball. Do you think Kelly promised Miles would start? I think so. I do think it's going to take a lot to unseat Miles at this point. I would put it at 75% that Miles is going to be the starter next year. Some of that is Nuss potentially beating him out, and some of that is also injury, right? Only people rolling on E like Razor. True. I just like EDM just because of EDM, right? So, yeah. I've still never been to a rave. I've still never been to an EDM concert. I would really like to go see. And I was just in Vegas, right? I could have paid $500 to go see Steve Aoki, right? No, I didn't. I prefer Puffy Combs. I tell you, Luke don't play, man. He sings from the freaking soul. You could feel Luke sing if you get it. He's just good. He's really good. But yeah. PLG says, I'm 13. I think current country isn't that good. Wayland Cash. Yeah, I don't want to get into this debate now. I'm not well versed enough in country to really go too deep into that. I still got a bunch of country music host friends. I still got some friends in the industry, but yeah, I'm not Bobby Braddock. I don't know enough. You've seen the Rolling Stones in person. You super chat. You want to talk about the Stones and Stapleton. You're only talking about goats tonight. I like it. But yeah, EDM music, I'm fine with EDM. It's actually like, I don't know if I would say it's my absolute favorite type of music, but I do listen to it probably the most. Reed says no open competition and Brian Kelly's promising players starting positions that we might be in trouble then. Yeah, I don't think Brian Kelly promised Miles Brennan that he's going to start. What I think the phone call probably was like was, look, Miles, you can go to another situation, but you're not going to be in as high profile a situation. You're not going to be around as good a wide receivers as you're going to be here. Now you can go somewhere else and you're more likely to start somewhere else. But at the same time, your likelihood to still start here is still relatively high. So I also think part of Miles' recruitment is that maybe he wasn't as sought after as he initially thought, right? I think Miles is good enough to go to the ACC uh, and go to a school like NC State and put up really big numbers, right? Go to some middle of the road ACC team or Pac 12 team and put up some gosh darn it huge numbers. But at the same time, it's not necessarily in my mind the the worst thing that he decided to stay. Even if he does not just ball out, it might be best for all parties involved that he comes back next year. I'll tell you this, right? If I'm giving you guys as honest of an assessment of Garrett Nussmeier's game up to this point, and Van, who's not in here, he super chatted this during the last live stream, and he was asking about Garrett Nussmeier. If I was giving my heart of heart evaluations of Garrett Nussmeier, based on the little bit we saw this year and just his high school tape, I still think he is a year 3 guy, as in, I don't think he is year 2 playable. Take Max Johnson, for instance. He wasn't really playable this year. When your QBR is under 50, that means you are below replacement level. So, it's you do begin to think, even if Miles doesn't absolutely ball out at the absolute highest level, maybe he still is the best option over Garrett Nussmeier. So I know Miles is not the most popular guy on this channel because of his injury history and, the flip-flop fishing, whatever. It is important to point out, though, that I am not 1,000% certain that Garrett Nussmeier is ready to go. And that's part of the reason why I really wanted Nuss to play the bowl game and play the end of the year, right? Because that gives you a better idea of where you are as well. So it's also this, right? Go with Miles this year. It's also this as well. When you go back to watch Garrett Nussmeier's high school tape, I go back to this stat. He had the highest senior completion percentage of any high school quarterback to ever come to LSU, right? That is really impressive. And he did it at an extremely high level. But at the same time, a lot of his throws that you see him make aren't within the framework of the play, which is fine. You want a playmaker. You want a guy that's willing to take chances. Part of my downgrades, if you will, on Nussmeier's game is that his escapability is a plus. It's just he is not an elite athlete when it comes to his escapability. And what I mean by that is he's not as fast as a Caleb Williams or Johnny Manziel or whoever. And his arm is really, really good, right? But it's different. One of the biggest jumps when you're one of these playmaking quarterbacks is when the defensive ends are as fast as you are. It is it's so different. When those guys are faster, honestly, in the SEC, those guys are oftentimes faster than you are. It's a game changer, right? Because those guys can chase you down. It is a huge, huge difference. So That's something else, and that's something that you can only get from game reps. You can't. It is impossible to get that in practice because you can't get hit. So it's tough. I don't care who we started QB as long as he's the best we have. And there's a lot of people that feel this way as well. Jared feels like this. Look, if Miles comes back and he can't play at all, we need to move on from it and just go to Garrett Nussmeier. And that I agree with as well. I just think Miles showed enough in those 3 games, even though I am very skeptical of those 3 games, not only because of who they played, but a lot of the throws that Miles made in those games were first read throws because Terrace Marshall and Eric Gilbert both played phenomenally to start the season. Um, it helped out, right? Those are 2 5-star talents that were getting open really fast. Now, obviously, you get Kayshawn back and the great receivers back, but when you play tougher defenses, you have to start going second read, third read. You also got to protect your body, and then it's a year-long process. So it's very fascinating. Nola, thank you. Good to see you. So there you go, man. It's really good stuff from King Ulysses as well. Can Nuss take his checkdowns? Can he take his checkdowns? So many. You go look at the Nussmeier film studies that we did. So much of what he did could have been simplified, right? Take the easier throw instead of trying to hit the home run or going with your first read. Master Blaster makes a good point. His super chat's still up. Hundo. If we don't fix that offensive line, Miles won't last. There you go. Nola Gris. Every time you jump in, you drop a $10 super chat. I really do appreciate it. It goes a long way. Okay, Tyler hung out to the end. Look, I'll put up for you. Okay, let me while I do this really quickly for Tyler, type M for Miles Brennan, type G for Garrett Nussmeier, or type W for Walker Howard. Who do you think should start next season? Okay. All right. Tyler, this link is for you. Click that link. If anyone else wants to subscribe, it does go a long way. Subscribe to my football card podcast. Garrett Nussmeier. Hey, John, good to hear from you. Tony says, I don't know. Let's see here. Johnny says, other. Oh, look at this. Johnny 5. Look at you and Gail. And where are you guys? What mountain is that? That's cool. I love the photo change. Pegasus, I'm gonna keep bothering you and Reed about this. Change your stupid avatars. Please. Miles Brennan. Miles. Oh, Skipper, I've done so many. Just type in on my YouTube search. Just go to my channel, and if you go to the search, you type in Miles Brennan Film Studies. I think I've done 7 or 8. I think I've covered every throw Miles has ever thrown. Right. So if that's what you like, I've done a lot. A lot. True. Miles is more talented, but Stetson Bennett, I think the difference that he provided Georgia is that he's a dual threat, right? About time a Russian showed up. There you go. Sister 19 IOL online. You know you've done something well when the porn bots are coming in. Caucus. Johnny Five, wait, did you move to Colorado? I think you're back in River Ridge. I hope so. That's where I sent your shirt. Shout out to you and Gail enjoying life. There you go. Me and Haley need to go on our trip. We're so excited we get to travel some this year. Dang PLG, my favorite non-LSU collegiate quarterback probably ever. You are only 13. That is so crazy to me, though. Like, you weren't even alive for Vince Young. Like, that's just so strange for me. I agree with you, Tony. Sip, good to see you. Until another QB proves himself, got to start Brennan. We'll see how the spring goes, I guess. Even if Caleb Williams comes to Tigerland, he still has to prove himself over Miles. Caleb's better than Miles. But dang, Ted's getting feisty here. Ted says we need to go elsewhere. We need to find somebody else. I love it, Ted. Oh, it was a vacation. You and Gail took in November. That's really cool. Any word on Caleb Williams? Nothing yet. I think it's USC, though. Happy birthday from the Thomas family. Shout out to Black OT. Shout out to D and the crew. Black OT and D, two of the biggest PHL supporters. Appreciate it, Skipper. Yeah, I mean, you can go down a rabbit hole of my Miles Brennan film studies. There's a lot of them. Miles will be this year's Kenny Pickett. I love it. I would love that. That means we are definitely winning 10 games. Michael Trigg's a very interesting tight end. I would really like him. I know LSU was after him, before he even got to USC. This is also true, Jesse. If you're a true LSU fan, you got to really love Miles, right? Just sticking it out, being a Tiger through and through. That's true, Nola. You do want to keep up the competition aspect of it. Sip is the biggest Miles fan. I've seen you defending him in the comments. Miles still hasn't showed up anything yet. Yeah, it's true, especially after the injury. Like, he's shown us that he could put up big numbers, right? But what can you do after the injury? Teddy Knox. I don't know Teddy Knox. I know Trey Knox is a tight end at Arkansas. I don't know too much about Teddy Knox. I don't know if it's a different wide receiver. The Caleb Douglas thing is very interesting. 3-star, obviously late riser here. We shall see. Yeah, whoever gets Caleb Williams is definitely essentially getting a top 5 recruiting class, right? That's how much an elite quarterback really moves the needle. Now, Caleb did struggle at times, and he does allow his arrogance to get the best of him. But he's still really good. I saw this earlier today. Caleb Williams to Wisconsin is actually a thing. That'd be pretty insane. Wisconsin hadn't had many elite quarterbacks. They had Russell Wilson, and I think that's about it. Lit like wit, welcome to the channel. Thoughts on who wears number 7 next season? I vote Jack Besh. I think it's going to be Kayshawn. I do, but welcome to the channel. Lit like wit. Look at all these smiles. I love it. Perkins, Mathews, Citizen, Lewis, Douglas, and moved to the top 3. Is that true? Do you jump from 20 to 3 if you land those top 5? No, Grant. I mean, these seem like some really strong rumors, but I do think once again he's going to USC. All right, guys, we are near the 2-hour mark. Once again, big shout out to Nathan. He has joined the T-shirt club. Congratulations to Nathan. Also, so I will. Oh, everyone thank Danny Girl. We're going to keep this party moving. Mediocre, inconsistent QB play also has an effect on recruiting skilled players. True, because they need someone to make them look good. LSU mediocre QBs beside number 9. I think that's true. I think you would say Met was better than mediocre, but your comment still holds true, right? Especially if you factor in these past couple of seasons. Now, this is an even crazier idea, right? So, you guys saw what happened with Jermaine Burton, right? His wide receiver coach packs his bags and goes to LSU, right? Well, Cortez Hankton went back home, and he also got a considerable pay raise, right? Now, I don't know how much money Caleb Burton got from going to Georgia to Alabama, but it is interesting. I said Caleb Burton, Jermaine Burton. It is interesting that you leave the national championship team to go join the team that you beat, right? So it's very interesting. Now, why would Jermaine Burton do that? Well, it's because of Bryce Young. Nothing more, nothing less, right? He sees the writing on the wall that Georgia's not going to be as good this year as they were next year, and he would prefer to play with Bryce Young over Stetson Bennett, as would many wide receivers. So this is actually a really good comment from Danny Girl. Now that wide receivers can see who's throwing you the football, I think that they are going to factor in quarterback situation, not only in recruiting, but just more so in the transfer portal. So this is a really good comment here. Jermaine and Elias Duran are brothers. I love it. I think Burton was also getting passed up. So Burton was huge for them in the title game. Mitchell was even bigger, right? I don't know if he was getting passed up though. It would have been hard for him to not start next year because Pickens is going to the NFL. I'd take Bo Nix. Well, let me revise that comment, Jared. You would take the Bo Nix that played in Tiger Stadium earlier this year. You wouldn't take normal Bo Nix. I think January 26th was the day, which is tomorrow. Mitchell was a 3-star. Burton was a highly rated 4-star. I think he was top 150, Carvis, if I'm not mistaken. And normally there's about, 350 4-stars? I think TJ Finley is just focused on beating out Zach Calzada. That is such a weird. This transfer portal year has been so strange, right? Calzada to Auburn, Max to Texas A&M. None of it makes sense. Finley to Auburn. It's so weird. LSU to A&M. LSU to Auburn. A&M to Auburn. Auburn to Oregon. See you next time, PLG. Very interesting. Well, there you go. All right. In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to answer as many LSU-related questions as we possibly can. If not, if you super chat, we keep this live stream going all night. I'll go till 8 in the morning if we keep getting super chats. Burton wants numbers, 50 receptions in 2 years. No bueno. Burton was not UGA's number one wide receiver. Arian Smith is our top wide receiver behind Perkins. Aaron was also hurt, so Burton became wide receiver number one. Cool. See you next time, Caucus. We'll see you on Thursday night. Isn't it crazy, though, going from UGA to Bama? On Oklahoma State, JARRICK Benard Converse, I think you should feel pretty confident. I'd put it about 70 or 80%. My favorite transfer, Johnny, would be him, simply because I just feel such a big need. Obviously, Miles Frazier is going to be huge for us next year. Mo Funky, good to hear from you. I appreciate it. There we go. These stars don't make the whole player. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they're mostly accurate, but individually, each and every player has to write his own story. So it's not the be all end all. All right, Jesse, I appreciate you. Grant, I appreciate you. Yeah, so, there's a graphic going around on Twitter, right? So Mahomes was a 3-star. Allen was a 3-star. Devontae Adams was a 3-star. Michael Thomas was a 3-star. Russell Wilson. There's quite a few. But there's also a lot of 5 stars and high-level top 100 4-stars. And, it's still, for the most part, accurate. Georgia still has the weapons. I think Nolan Smith coming back, I don't know if I saw it, if it was official or not, would be huge for them. Travis Kelce was a 3-star at Cincinnati. Aaron Donald. So, yeah, but mostly stars are pretty accurate, right? Appreciate you, Danny. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for making PHO what it is. Thank you for, your birthday donations. They do go a long, long, long way. And we will see you Thursday night. I don't know if we're going to have a video tomorrow. Depends if there is a big breaking news story. We had our Harold Perkins video from yesterday. So if you want to see my top 5 players in for LSU to go after during this last week before the signing period, here you go, right there. So if you want more PHL, click that link right there. Since two of Saban's past assistants have beaten him, do you see more of it happening sooner rather than later? Yeah, I mean, you know, I think a lot of it as well has to do those past assistants were able to get enough good players to actually beat him, right? So, in order to beat Saban as a former assistant, you got to have the thoroughbreds in the stable. And let's be honest, the first time Saban beat down Kirby this year and A&M got Saban at home, I don't think we'll ever see Jimbo beat Saban in Tuscaloosa because Jimbo's such a bad road coach. Thank you, Aaron, Master Blaster, our top super chatter of the night. I'll be sending you an email, Master Blaster, on your card. I'll be sending it to you right after this live stream. That is true. JJ Watt was a 3-star as well. Are we moving next week's Tuesday Night Live for Wednesday signing day? I think we'll just do a live on both days, right? So just be on the lookout for that. It is Power Hour LSU. Boom! Taco Tuesday tonight. Let's go. Let's go.